Welcome to Daily Dose Radio, a 5-minute devotional podcast studying the Psalms verse by verse. Broadcast from the ever-beautiful Sharonville, Ohio, on the sunny side of Cincinnati. Hey there, friends. Welcome back to Daily Dose Radio. In the Bible Bistro, today we're looking at Psalm 93 all this week. And we have another orphanic psalm here. And we've had them for quite a while. The choir master's been on vacation, I guess. We go all the way back to Psalm 90, which was a psalm of Moses. And then we had Psalm 91, which was orphanic. And then Psalm 92, all it said was that it was a psalm to be sung on the Sabbath day. And then now we come to Psalm 93, still no author, no choir master. The choir's on break, I guess. I don't know. But this is a good one. Man alive, this is dandy. We got Psalm 93, and there's only 5 verses here, so we're going to do a verse per day. But in these 5 verses, we are instructed in 7 different things about our Lord God. So there's lots of theology here, lots of good doctrine here. So just because it's short, don't think it doesn't pack a punch, because there's a lot of material here to cover, a lot of teaching. Before we get into the teaching today in verse 1, because we have 3 of the 7 things right here in verse 1. Before we do that, let me just remind you about the other podcasts in the Bible Bistro. We have the Creek Road Baptist Pulpit, which is a weekly upload featuring sermons preached at Creek Road Baptist Church, and we have the School of Wisdom podcast, which is a weekly upload, and studies the book of Proverbs chapter by chapter and verse by verse. If you like this kind of study, where we just go verse by verse and phrase by phrase and try to tease out the important doctrines and thoughts and themes, you're going to like what we have in the book of Proverbs as well, because we do the same sort of thing, although instead of looking at it in bite-sized chunks, we go at the whole chapter in one setting. So it's about a 20-minute podcast. I hope you'll go and check it out. Let me read for you verse 1. The Lord reigneth. He is clothed with majesty. The Lord is clothed with strength, wherewith he hath girded himself. The world also established, that it cannot be moved. Like I said, there are several things here, 3 exact things. We have 3 different phrases in this first verse, and we're told several things about the Lord. Number 1, and the very first thing out of the box is he's a God that reigns. The Lord reigns. See, there is no equivocation here. It's not that he might reign, or he did reign, or he will reign. It is the Lord reigns. So this is the sovereignty of God expressed here in just 3 simple words. In English, that is, the Lord reigns. And we have, beginning in the next phrase there, he is clothed with majesty. The Lord is clothed with strength, wherewith he hath girded himself. So this describes not only his sovereignty, but now his might. God's power is clearly displayed here. He is clothed with power, might, and strength, and somebody didn't give this to him. No, he gave this to himself. He has girded himself. So the Lord has done this thing himself. He is pre-existent, and we'll get to that here in just a little bit. Actually, when do we talk about his pre-existence? Tomorrow. And that's the doctrine we'll pick up tomorrow. But here we have his sovereignty, his might. This is what God has done. And then we have his creation. The world also established that it cannot be moved. So just like the Lord reigns and he can't be moved, just like his majesty and his strength, it cannot be removed from him because he girded himself, so also the world that he created is established, and it cannot be moved. So all of these things describe who our God is, sovereign, mighty, and the creator of all things. All right, join me tomorrow. We'll pick up here in verse 2, talk about his eternal nature on Daily Dose Radio. Thanks for listening to Daily Dose Radio. I'm David Smith. The music today has been performed by the Bluegrass Experiment. Thanks again for listening. I'll see you next time on Daily Dose Radio.